One. 33-year-old Robert Johnson. He's unarmed, he's nonviolent, he's on a cell phone making a call as these 4 officers repeatedly harass him. Now, these officers are from the Mesa Police Department. They're here on a domestic disturbance call. They frisk Johnson, then they tell him to move over to the wall. He complies, but things take a grim turn when he gets off the phone. Now, if this video looks like totally unprovoked attempted manslaughter to you, well, that's because it is. That's exactly what happened. And how did Mesa Police Department react to the surfacing of this video? Predictably.
Mesa Police say he was arguing and refused to sit down when they told him to.
And then they proceeded to put the 4 officers on paid leave. Now, let me tell you something. These people are cowards. They're not here to serve. They're not here to protect. These subhuman mistakes are here to enact vengeance on society because of their personal inferiority complex by abusing the trust given to them by those who pay their salary. There's no fear here. It's just pure hatred. It's pure anger. And this is why we criticize police brutality, not purely from a racial standpoint. Race is just the component that compounds the likelihood of someone becoming a victim. After all, this is the same department that Phillips Brailsford was an officer at when he executed Daniel Shaver, an innocent, unarmed white man, begging for his life on his hands and knees. Philip was a...
Hey, by the way, this video is from, like, what year is this video from? Sorry, I just want to... I don't know if it showed the Daniel Shaver. So that was the Daniel Shaver execution, which is, it's from 2016, or how many years ago was this from?
Acquitted and was fired.
Yeah, it's from about 2 years ago. I don't know what the exact date is. Yeah, June 28th. So yeah, it's literally from 2 years ago. Oh wait, I guess I was a class reductionist back then as well, and a boogaloo boy back then as well, when I was wearing Hawaiian shirts and talking about police brutality and how it harms white people as well. Remember when everyone was saying like, "Oh, dude, Hasan, you never talk about white violence, bitch." Yes, I do. And I have for fucking years, you dumb fucks. You just are now tuned into it. Anyway, let's keep going.
Fired from Mesa Police Department, but not for cold-blooded murder. He was fired for departmental misconduct, for unsatisfactory performance. What happened? Did he not beat suspects hard enough? Was he too easy on them? Now, do you want to know why people hate cops? This is the textbook definition of why. 1, cops start harassing a person they deem a suspect. 2, they wait till he's off the phone to beat the doors off of him. 3, and this is the most important part, not a single one of the other good cops try to stop the bad cop from pummeling the victim's skull even after he is clearly unconscious. 4, the other cops actually end up hog-tying the victim, further treating him as less than human. 5, they eventually arrest the victim for suspicion of disorderly conduct and hindering. And finally, 6, these cops get paid leave. They most likely won't be fired, and even if they are fired, they will end up getting a job at another police department, and the cycle of violence will continue. And there are examples of this. Deontay Yarber's murderer who unloaded 30 bullets into him in a Walmart parking lot was fired from a previous precinct for blatant racism. This flagrant lack of respect for human lives is what puts police lives at risk. This lack of accountability is why people hate cops. This violence that affects all Americans, black and white, is why people hate cops. It's not the people who take a brave stance against this brutality and have the courage to ask for accountability that are causing this problem. It's those who perpetrate this violence and others who allow these cruel acts to continue who truly put police officers' lives at risk. Getting angry at black athletes kneeling when they're kneeling for you is no different than getting mad at the doctor who tells you you have cancer. You have to acknowledge and understand a problem before you can fix it. Because I think we can all agree that it's better to kneel during the national anthem than have a 300-pound cop kneel on your windpipe during a routine traffic stop. I'm Hasan Piker. If you're...
Yeah, so this wasn't actually what I was looking at. This one got 10 million views though. Holy shit. I should reshare this, I guess. I don't know how I would even. I haven't used fucking Facebook in so long, but predicted. It's not predictive behavior if you are looking at it from if you analyze society's problems accurately, you will always look like Nostradamus, motherfucker. I'm not. It's only because I knew that this was an issue and was talking about it, and people would call me a fucking terrorist and a you know, hater of cops who wants to kill all cops or some shit. It's like when you say like, oh, The Simpsons predicted so much. It's like, well, no, The Simpsons predicted so much. Here, there's another one. Here, I have another one about here.
White people know that police brutality is happening. Many of them just don't care because they know it won't happen to them.
What?
Happy Monday. White people know that police brutality is happening. Many of them just don't care because they know it won't happen to them.
Treat me like a black person!
Here you have a nice white doctor getting arrested in a fairly aggressive manner, in a way that most people of color are all too familiar with. He gets pepper sprayed, tossed on the ground, and finally...
Treat me like a black person!
But what could Dr. Jeffrey Epstein mean by this? I mean, the police don't actually
Oh my God, the doctor's name was Jeffrey Epstein. Unrelated to the other Jeffrey Epstein. Oh my God, I forgot.
treat black people differently, do they?
According to the police report, she then told the officer off camera she shouldn't be arrested because she's a, quote, very clean, thoroughbred white girl.
Examples like this happen all the time, and they're important because they show that silence from white people against police brutality is complicity. And let me, of course, state something before everyone loses their minds. Not all white people. You know who I'm talking about. Complicity means seeing images of white mass shooters get arrested peacefully in the news and then not seeing the difference when Stephon Clark gets shot in his grandmother's backyard for holding up an iPhone. Complicity is not willing to acknowledge what Black Lives Matter is protesting, what the athletes are kneeling for. It's not about the anthem. Like, this isn't some big secret, you guys. I mean, police literally admit it if you ask them gently.
Why you got your gun pointed at me though? Because you're not white?
Oh, very well, officers. Carry on. The disparity of police brutality is so flagrant that cops literally use it to calm down white people sometimes.
I've just seen way too many videos of cops, but you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people.
And listen, I'm not saying you have to be Rachel Dolezal or Kim Kardashian to understand what it's like to be a black person in America. You don't really even need to be a person of color to acknowledge that the police operate as a brutal occupying force in communities of color and poor communities. Police brutality isn't just a race issue, but race increases the likelihood that you'll be impacted by it. So white people, I'm gonna set the bar super low for you, okay? All you have to do as a first step is to say, yes, we need to bring accountability to this oppressive, armed military force that's targeting the citizens who pay their salaries. It's that easy. So try that next time instead of screaming, why won't the football man stand? I mean, they set up booby traps for kids playing basketball at a Chicago park just to arrest them last week. This shit is comical. You really want to tell me that this is the best use of anyone's time or resources? Anyway, there's more to say on this subject.
That's not it either. Where the fuck is it? Holy shit. Oh, here, there's another one. Dude, I have done, so I think this was it. It's either this one or the other one. Hold on. Or no, I don't think it's this one, it's this one. Sorry. Do you miss making this type of content? A little bit. Hold on, I'm not going to show you that. Actually, I'll show you. Here. That kid is 15 years old. That's a 15-year-old kid.
Hey cops, don't do this. Here's 15-year-old Luca getting pepper sprayed, punched, and then promptly skull slammed into the concrete by 3 leather-necked, steroid-addled adrenaline junkies who think they're dishing out some much-needed justice. Now you might be asking, justice for what exactly? Well, turns out the crime the student was committing here was picking up his friend's phone off the ground as he was getting arrested. Some people get mad when you let your dog's paws touch the hot concrete, but go and defend the actions of this police officer. And let me tell you something. While one Broward Sheriff's deputy is now on restrictive administrative assignment for use of force in this gross display of asymmetrical state power, 15-year-old Luca was still charged with assault, resisting arrest, and trespassing. Now this is Broward County, which hosts a big Hispanic and black population and is a place where some of my favorite Zoomer rappers are from. It also happens to be minutes away from Parkland, where the school shooting happened last year. And remember how that school shooting was handled. After the Parkland shooter murdered 17 students and faculty at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, he was able to calmly walk out of the chaos and stroll in the streets, only to be arrested peacefully moments later. Now, obviously I'm not asking for the police to be more violent towards everyone, including the Parkland shooter. That'd be silly. I'm not some crazy person. I'm simply pointing out this double standard to show you that cops are capable of de-escalation and calmly arresting even the most violent perpetrators. Another issue I have to point out here is the racial disparity in how we treat children of color versus white kids. Countless studies have shown that black adults are more likely to be perceived as a threat than their white counterparts, but also black children are more likely to be perceived as adults or older than they are and less innocent. Now, this is the same kind of bias that got 12-year-old Tamir Rice killed for playing with a BB gun in an open carry state. And these biases play a major role when officers are required to de-escalate potentially violent situations, and even on routine disturbance calls like this one, which should have never ended up with a 15-year-old boy body slammed onto the hot Florida concrete with his brain leaking out of his ear because he wanted to grab the other kid's iPhone. This was the officer's defense for his actions. Again, the three of us were outnumbered by the large group of students who were yelling, threatening us, and surrounding us. Kirkovich wrote in his arrest report, "I had to act quickly, fearing I would get struck or having a student potentially grab weapons off my belt vest." Imagine thinking a 15-year-old kid is basically Jason Bourne and he's gonna Krav Maga your service weapon. And this leads me to our final problem. The way the law is written, if cops say they feel threatened, then that's sufficient to defend their actions no matter how violent those actions can be, which effectively grants cops immunity from facing consequences for excessive violence like this. So we either need to change the rules concerning police conduct so that they're not uniformly allowed to get away with this kind of outrageous behavior by pleading that they feared for their lives, or we have to start hiring cops who aren't such cowards, okay? But in the meantime, all three of these officers have demonstrated that they're absolutely incapable of protecting and serving this community and any other community that they might be reassigned to. I'm Hasan Piker.
Yeah, it's wild that I was saying the same exact things for such a long time. That's crazy.
If you would just and try to listen to what we're saying, I'd be like,
This is why right-wingers and now neoliberals, but this is why right-wingers for years told me that I was a terrorist and I wanted all cops to die and I was harming people. The same arguments made by those right-wingers are now being made by neoliberals on a particular neoliberal subreddit, and it's so fucking pathetic. It's so fucking pathetic. This is what happens. It doesn't matter if you're consistent. It doesn't matter if you hold on to long-held beliefs about a particular subject. It doesn't matter if you're 100% absolutely on the money right. People that hate you will always be able to disparage you, okay? They'll always be able to find some shit and say, "Oh, dude, you suck, you're wrong, whatever." It's so sad.
So a bunch of you sent this to me in the Big Tent Democratic Coalition group, and it made me so mad that I had to cover the whole video. Here you have an unruly cop body slamming and arresting a kid for calling him a mother as he was leaving the store peacefully.
Really not this serious.
It's not that serious.
Now, this is exactly the kind of minor altercation people get into every day with police officers. Here you have a young guy getting the cops called on him for riding a hoverboard inside of a store, and as he's leaving the store, he's talking because he's obviously pissed off at this cop pursuing him.
They wanted me to leave Walmart because I was riding my hoverboard, right? I'm leaving Walmart. Now they escorting me.
The spirit of justice. You
Especially
love
this
your
guy
father,
here.
the devil.
He's the dickhead.
I love your shirt.
And of course, our small town tyrant is not about to be talked down to, especially not by some unruly kids. So first, he hits him with the "you probably have a record" routine. Wonder why he thought this kid had a record.
Who? I don't got no criminal record, cousin.
Well, I don't know. You won't let me get your name?
You don't love the
Like I'm
spirit
really
of
gonna give you my
justice.
name?
Nope,
You
that
love
didn't
your
work.
father,
Then he tries the
devil.
"you're walking the wrong way" line as if there's only one way to leave a freaking Walmart.
Fucking the wrong way. The entrance is that way.
I don't have to do no hopping, bro. Get off my back. Stop following me.
Now keep in mind that at this point the cop is visibly annoyed that this other person isn't cowering in fear.
Why you still following me, bro?
Right here and wait for
Look, no. Look, why you still touching
You
me,
can
bro?
go to jail
Why
or
you
you can
touching
wait
me?
right here.
Why you touching me? You did exactly, bro. Get off of me, bro.
There we go. You don't have the right to put your hands on a person this way just because they don't respect you. The subject hasn't done anything wrong. He's not a threat to anyone. He's compliant, annoyed, sure, but compliant. This is precisely the problem. And then the cop arrests the kid violently for calling him a motherfucker. What was he supposed to do? Is he supposed to take it quietly as he's being harassed by a man who's using a badge to do whatever he wants? What is he supposed to do when you put your hands on him? This isn't just a race issue either, by the way. This is an issue that impacts all of us. We need more accountability, we need better practices, and we need to oust bad cops. Stop getting in the way of that happening. Now, here's the thing. Thankfully, the police didn't escalate this altercation even further and end up killing this young man, although we've certainly seen that happen all too often. And unfortunately, that is the painfully low bar we've set here in the United States. But statistically, this is a much more common interaction reflecting.
That's what I was looking for. This is what I was talking about, which is that
The everyday experience that is.
this also is a insanely, oh my God, dude, psychos. This is an insanely common problem that often gets overlooked because when we hyper focus on just murder, we tend to forget that there are significant complications with almost every single interaction. Almost every single interaction that people have with cops.
And all too often. And unfortunately, that is the painfully low bar we've set here in the United States. But statistically, this is a much more common interaction reflecting the everyday experience citizens have with police officers, and it is precisely why cops aren't well liked. It's not the body cams, it's not anything else. It's the fact that police officers think they are above the law when they are not. They're supposed to be upholding the law. I'm Hasan Piker, and if this video has made you as
Anyway, zero drip.
You don't love the spirit
Yeah,
of justice.
looking back at all
You
these
love
videos,
your
I
father, the
realized like
devil.
there are so many fucking missed opportunities. I should just be like re-uploading these videos or some shit. Yeah, it is a Chance the Rapper hat. Maybe like my entire library of police brutality content from years ago. Because it's unfortunately I am saying the exact same things. I'm saying the exact same things that I've been saying for years because the problems have not changed. Because it's still relevant. The reason why it's prescient is because it is for the same reasons that other people who are much more qualified to talk on these subjects, who are much better thinkers and writers than myself, have said the exact same things for years. Like, there's a reason why MLK's takes, like, for example, the letter from Birmingham prison is so prescient about the white moderate and numerous other problems, because those problems still exist in society. So, who was that dude? You look like a scuffed version of him? Yeah, I'm a scuffed version of that guy. Yeah.
You don't love the spirit of justice. You love your father, the devil.
Stream from Chaz. I really want to. I really, really, really want to. I mean, we'll see. I don't know if I can go there, but hold on. Republicans. There was another one that I wanted to show you about cops. This is like the most, this is one of